So we are
EstroHaze.
And you are in session with EstroHaze. We're so excited to have you here for our official 2-year check-in that we're having here with you.
Let's do it.
So we're gonna just jump right in. So guys, to start, I want to know, looking back on the past 2 years of entrepreneurship, what has surprised you guys most?
I would say the personal roller coaster of emotions and dealing with my own shit in general
Okay.
has probably surprised me the most. I knew I was going to go in. I knew it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be financially stressful. I knew even when it happens, it sucks. But I expected those kind of challenges to maybe happen.
Okay.
But as far as my personal evolution and personal growth, and the things that I've contended with as far as my ego, as far as a number of different things, has surprised me in ways unimaginable.
You know what? I will actually second that because 2 years ago when we were in the accelerator, I started going back to therapy just for a lot of those things. Like, how can I adapt to this? And this is a lot of change happening at one time. And I found myself also this year going back to therapy. And it seems like even though it's been so much like good and amazing stuff that has happened and transpired for EstroHaze these last 2 years, it has made me draw even deeper within myself, because it's just to constantly remind myself it's bigger than myself. So I definitely feel you on that. What about you?
You know, what surprised me most has been my ability to adapt. Like, over the past 2 years, I've grown to know survival in a new way, personally and professionally, and as a lean startup. You know what I mean? So all of those things have been things that may have been laying dormant for a while, but these last 2 years have really ignited those things in ways that proved to me that I was more resilient than I thought. And it's still learning. I'm still in the middle of whatever's happening. You know what I mean?
Same.
So it's like,
No,
we'll come back to this question in about 3 more years, y'all.
Not at the end of this journey.
Premature question, y'all. Premature question. What have you learned from most? What have you learned from most, guys?
What have I learned? Oh, what have I learned from
What have you learned the most from? Like, what have you learned the most from at the gamut? Like, what has been your biggest, like, this right here has taught me the most?
I can say I've learned about leadership in a way, just because I am holding myself accountable for a number of different things, and just the way I am looking at as far as like vision is concerned and how to execute on vision. And probably the thing that I've learned most is it takes I already knew it took financial resources to make things happen, but the level of resourcefulness that I've even like it's gone even beyond what I had before. You know what I mean? Like, it's really just taking what I learned in Canopy, what we've learned over the past 2 years, from the books, even the books that we're reading, I'm looking at them in a whole different way just because that experience has caught up. And so all of those things kind of working together has made me more resourceful and able to execute with those resources faster and faster and faster.
And I think I can get agree. I would say resourcefulness is probably a big thing for me too. Like, what have I learned most from? I've learned the most from our experience in Canopy Boulder. Of course. Of course, because I think I learned just a lot about just team and what really mattered in terms of that. I learned about being resourceful because we had, that lump sum, they give it to you, but it ain't gonna last forever. And we learned that very quickly, to be smart with how we spend it and to just learn how to build and make, not even make do, but to make good on what we had. Like, this is what you have, how can you make the best of that? So again, learning from being lean. I guess that's kind of like the first question too. Being lean has taught so much. having so little. But you know, that's a story of black folk anyway, y'all.
I mean, it is.
No, seriously, you know what I mean? Just having so little is probably why we're so creative and innovative and just
resourceful
and talented. Okay, okay, what are we doing right? That's lighter. What are we doing right, y'all?
We're adapting and being flexible even when it's uncomfortable. And I think that we had a mission and we're being steadfast to that mission, but the execution is adaptable.
Tapping into intuition, definitely looking at the data and numbers to help make informed decisions, and honestly stopping when it's necessary to stop and just say, let's take a minute. I think it's just really important. So definitely over the last 2 years, because being in Canopy, you just kept going. I mean, we had a full week scheduled out. Like, you knew what you were going to be doing, so I always felt like in some sort of preparation mode or getting ready for something. Okay, this is coming up. So kind of, I remember like when we first got out, you used to always say like we can actually work on our business, like we actually can. Yeah. And I know the first year felt even still a little rocky, trying to get financial stuff straight and medical stuff straight, and this year felt like finding a little bit of more of a groove.
We've been very, very good at trusting our intuition.
Yeah.
We have it's a company gut, right? We all have individual guts, but there's a gut to the company that I think all of our guts kind of lead into. And we trust it. And there are times in meetings and we're talking, we just have these moments and it's like, oh, we can't even get it out good before. Yep. That works.
Absolutely.
And it feels right. Like one of the biggest changes was recently when we pivoted, right? In December, we literally said, okay, guys, we got to do something different. Let's do something different, right? And so we really did just had to come together and really sit down and say, okay, what makes sense for us? Not what makes sense for media, not what makes sense for candidates, like what makes sense for us, the people we are, the things that we love, how we want to contribute, the voice we want to lend to this industry, what makes sense. And when we just really channeled in and trusted our gut with that, it's been synergy and just in the vortex ever since. We had this synergy and we've been on to something for a while, but when we really tapped into the gut of us, despite everything else, I think that has been something that we've done right, and that's been what we're doing right now, and I think that's why things are going right.
That is just such a great point because, you know, when you get into this startup world, particularly like going through an accelerator where, you know, there's a lot of tech, you know, involved and there's a way of doing things and, you know, there's these certain expectations and all of these things, but you really have to look at what Dawn even mentioned, you know, in her AMA, like what is your business? The way you work your business and your business function is not going to be the same as other people, and how you do things, it can be totally unique. And I think us kind of in that point in December when we said, listen, let's just start ground level, like throw out the playbook. What do we want? How do we want to even like incorporate our interests and the things that we love doing, you know, so we're able to use our gifts to advance the mission.
And that's a lesson. Like directly into the camera. Like that's such a lesson because there's no one size fits all business model. Like there's tactics and things you could take, but you still have to incorporate things that are unique to you and your brand. Because we don't want to be carbon copies. Like granted, 3 other girls could have a similar background like us, do something similar, but it would never be the same. You know, we add a different flavor to it, and tapping into that just freaking unlocks something else. Like
and trusting that. And trusting that. This and that's important too, because we have trusted since the beginning that there's been something divine in this. And that's been the driving force. When you broke, because there might have been points where they've been folding points, right? Emotionally, financially,
might have been
spiritually, you know what I mean? Folding points, but you realize that underlying divinity is there, and it's so undeniable, and it's just it's there and it's in your face, so that helps to be the driving force. Okay, so what has been your biggest mistake? This is something to learn from. What's been even personally, like your biggest mistake you can call over the last 2 years, even if it's happening right now, even if it hasn't happened.
I know.
What?
My ghosting. So like learned the whole term ghosting last year. And I was like, oh man. And I learned about it in the context of kids were ghosting jobs. Like you're supposed to show up and they don't even show up. And it's like, oh dang, y'all don't even call, y'all don't email, y'all don't do anything. So I said, oh my God, like I thought about things that have like transpired over the years in my own life in times that I have ghosted mostly out of relationships. And I know right before I started going back and like looking for a therapist, I had a conversation with both of y'all and I was like, you know, I just like want to apologize for like just kind of like just really just kind of drifting away. And it was because of what I was going through, but that's not helpful at all, especially when you are working with a team and you know what I'm saying, you're trying to build something. So I learned that I had been carrying that, and I also learned further it was because I was not saying things that I needed to say, thinking about how other people were going to feel and putting their feelings ahead of mine, which also is counterproductive, passive aggressive, you know, every goddamn term you can think of. And just what I did know I needed to do was I knew I needed to talk to someone because I knew that that was the only way that I was going to get out of my own head.
Right.
Yes.
And that was the only way that I was going to be able to have fruitful relationships in the way my heart wanted to. So, and learning that that is just an ongoing thing. Like I'm constantly learning and I'm constantly growing in this space, but also I knew that in order to get to the next level collectively, I had to get to the next level internally. So that, you know, I could have better, you know, communication and be able to listen without taking things personally. And I think two things that our patrons got to experience, and you too can become a patron at any time, was Dawn and Whitney both mentioned reading the Four Agreements. And I was like, yo, I have 2 copies of this book and I have read this book and that sparked something because like for one of the biggest things is like don't take things personally. You know what I mean? Be impeccable with your word and you know, just taking the time to go, you know what? Yep, this business is great and all these other things you're doing is great, but girl, if you don't get within, it
How
really
how you gonna win if you ain't right within? That's a word.
That is a
No,
word.
you just did that.
That is a word.
And I can agree with that in a lot of ways. And my biggest mistake, I think I'm still like almost I haven't gotten past it yet. And it's a part of what you're saying is just saying what you mean. You know what I mean? And not just expecting what you mean to be implied. Or understood and it's the helpful part is that we've had the privilege of having love in the team. Not every team might not have that from, you know what I mean? So you do have the benefit of that lens when those things come into play because they do bring these, your ego, my ego is there, man. And it's like, these are things that you think you work past. When you by yourself, dealing with yourself. When you Najee Wamba in your crib, you're feeling like you've evolved to these places and then you get into these things and your ego shows up and then you have to like check those things and then learn how to communicate. And I'm still learning how to communicate and navigate what I'm trying to say for the sake of this. But you know what I think is helping? And you guys can tell me if you agree. Just knowing that it's all for the great good. Everybody, it's all for the win. It's all for the win. The goal of this right here is to win, right? So despite everything, but what you're thinking and feeling, the goal is the same. So we're working together for this, and we define the fact that the baseline is love. Everything else is bullshit and details, y'all.
That's it. I completely agree with you guys in so many ways, and one thing a mistake I made is just not asking for help when I needed it. You know, get in my own head about what I'm supposed to do in this role and how I'm supposed to, you know, take certain things on. And sometimes I just need help. And, you know, it took me longer to do things. And if I asked for help, it wouldn't have taken so long, you know, like, just being quicker about that, because that's my work that I have to do. That's something separate from y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it is like, you got to learn from every single thing. And one thing that I'm doing is learning quicker. You know what I mean? I'm not making the same mistakes, which that's about self-correction. I'm getting quicker on that.
That's real. Look, I'm going to take this now so you can pack that bowl. All right?
Okay.
What is your favorite way to consume?
I mean,
Favorite.
you know what? I hate that favorite.
That's right.
Because it's not a favorite.
I
just
got
really
my
don't
favorite.
think
You
I
don't have a favorite?
I do.
I don't
got
have
a
a favorite.
Really?
I don't have a favorite anymore. I used to.
Okay.
I don't have a favorite anymore. I
That's
really.
real. What used to be your favorite and why?
Flower used to be my favorite.
Okay.
You know, just a joint. You know, and I still enjoy joints, but it's like, it's not my favorite. Like, oh damn, I don't. Like, I guess it's between, you know, concentrates and flour are my favorite ways to consume. We can say that.
What about you?
For me, you know, I'm really on some just some really. I don't even know who I am anymore, because for the longest.
Did you see this? Did you
longest,
see this?
It's been blunts, right?
Yeah,
I mean, created
yeah.
a whole show
Yeah.
around it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing it for years. So then Lent happened, right? So I got off of blunts for Lent, because you know you're supposed to give up those things that really got you. So I'm like, let me give up blunts so I can try to, you know, see to do something different.
You know.
So then I've been. That's how I sound. I sound like that. That's how I sound. What do you know?
Listen.
Did you hear me?
It's a hot. That's what I
Anyway.
sound.
Anyway,
Hot.
I won't say that again. So I've been packing bowls. You see her? You see her? Shout out to Smoke Cartel.
I mean, we love that bowl.
I love this bowl. So I've been smoking these bowls, and now I can just kind of righteously say this is my favorite. I love what? I love
What
the
a
pack of bowls.
transition.
This is like, you have no idea how
Shout
big
out to
this
Lent.
is.
It's supposed to change it, and it did. Like,
Shout out
word.
to Lynch. She said.
Yeah.
I respect that you have the willpower every year
Every
to
Me too.
to do
Yeah.
Lent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Every year.
Every year.
I mean,
Every year.
You gotta do it, man. You gotta give up those things. Anything.
it kills me. Y'all saw it killed me a week to give up coffee. It about
But you did it, though.
killed me.
But you
But
did.
but I said, hey, all right, I did it. But
Exactly.
no,
That's a
you look
triumph.
forward to Lent. You
I
look
love
forward
it.
to giving
Yeah.
something
Prove to
up.
yourself when you can
Kaylee has
sacrifice.
amazing willpower too.
Yes.
I need the Lord to touch me in that area.
Yes,
I
indeed.
swear to God. Okay, all right.
So where do you see us in 5 years?
Let's speak it. Let's speak it right too. So
Yeah,
let's
speak it.
And
Is
let's
this a
speak it with-
manifest
Yeah,
session?
let's do this.
Let's do it.
this.
I like
do
it.
this. Let's go
Manifesting
there. Let's go
session.
there.
I
do
see
it.
a Times Square billboard inviting people to our sold. Well, it was sold out, so they ain't invited no more. That's why I just saw. My bad. It's sold out. So I hope
Okay.
you got your tickets.
Okay.
What is it? Is it an event?
Yeah, it's an event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is the event in Times Square or the billboards in Times Square?
Billboards in Times Square, so I'm
What is the
assuming
event?
it must be somewhere near Broadway. That's
Okay.
that's what I'm thinking at one of the theaters.
One of the big theaters, the big houses.
Yeah, because it's a
Okay.
big
Major
billboard.
houses.
It's a
Okay.
big billboard. However, now listen, I'm seeing billboard, I'm seeing sold out, so it's
Okay.
clearly some sort of live show. But
Okay.
I also feel in my spirit some big network deal.
Okay.
So
Let's
I'm
say
seeing
that.
that.
All right.
you see,
I'm seeing that.
'Cause
right?
I was-
So
okay,
receives.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Continue. I'm just listening. I'm
Okay.
receiving.
Go ahead. So you see that?
Okay.
I see a truly multi-platform company that extends from productions, you know, with major networks to, you know, festival events perhaps,
So
To-
the Silly Festival, I'm right there.
to, you know, a full-on just online network as well. It's a way that using content in various ways to get that information, that message to the audience, and providing that safe space. Because I think that the safe space can be extended on even in a larger way. It can expand in a larger way.
I see a workspace, not necessarily a EstroHaze works out of it, but more so like a community space.
I like it.
Where people are coming together to create, to work, to build, centered in cannabis. And I see beautiful windows, beautiful view, and I see mountains. So I don't. There's no mountains here in New York unless some things
Ooh,
shift
are
and
we in
change. We got
Boulder?
global warming. I don't
Are
know.
we in
We
Boulder?
back in Boulder.
Or perhaps we're in California where our production company is, and you know we're working and creating.
I see EstroHaze, the name, being like synonymous with like multicultural cannabis. Like you say the name EstroHaze and it's a household brand. So it's a name that is known with integrity and just a strong, very strong brand identity, just kind of the trajectory that we're going in now. I see it on major billboards. I see you walking past people in the mall with your brand on, and you have no idea who they are, and they rocking that bitch. And you just smiling to yourself because you know that the culture has extended far past even recognizing who you are, because the brand is, you know, I see us individually, you know, with our own ventures, just striving in addition to what we're doing with this, and that in turn making the brand even stronger, because we are strong as individuals, and you know, we a movement by ourselves.
But we're forced when we're together.
So
y'all
I
was
see
supposed
us.
to sing.
Well, if I've been singing this whole damn time, y'all ain't been joining me. And
I didn't know the songs. They were originals.
Oh gosh, you just.
I mean, how am I supposed to
They
jump
were
in? I don't know
original.
any
Of course.
lyrics.
Y'all ain't even damn try. So,
all right. Well, now we know we the doors open.
goodness. So
much.
yeah, I do.
So
I
much,
see that. I see us being very impactful, just impactful and empowered, and just in accordance and in alignment, because we are there now, and just to be in alignment in a very grounded and sacred mission like the one that is right now, and just being very lucrative and just abundance, a lot of abundance. And I'm speaking this and I'm manifesting this, but I do feel this, y'all.
I feel it.
I'm
I
saying
feel
this
it.
with peace in my spirit, and I'm serious. I am. I'm saying this with peace in my spirit because I feel it. That's how it's going to be
I feel
in
it too.
5 years, you know, and that's no long time.
No.
So
2
it's
years.
like,
Look at this. A 2-year check.
Yeah, so it's like, are you guys ready? Is a big question, you know, because that's a hard question to ask yourselves. You know, it's true because you think you are, but are you ready? Because shit's.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I think
I can say that
I'm
with
ready too.
conviction.
I'm ready to think. I'm ready
Full
too.
energy.
So y'all,
Let's cheer it up. With everything we got.
The bowl as well. Yes.
I'll describe the because I don't know.
Okay.
Cheers.
Guys, this is another In Session with EstroHaze. Till next time,
Till
y'all.
next time.
Peace. Be groovy.